Word to the wise. Don't ever do a Donald Sterling impersonation to make a point about what a scumbag Robert Sarver is, because your friends will make a song about it. Hour number 2. If you missed the conversation about Michigan, you have 2 options. You can use Odyssey.com Rewind. We spent the first hour on it. Or you can tune in probably at 5 o'clock when we do it again, because I think the national champion is either you or Ohio State. But I want to pivot because I'm very angry about something. I'm very angry. This was a Lions-free weekend. And it was really weird because I enjoyed it way more than I should have, not having to burden myself with the Lions. But it really angered me. And this is what I don't get from many of you. And some of you work at the station. But oh yeah.
I'm right here, Mike.
No.
Okay.
You and I are holding hands on this one. I don't get why people continue to make excuses for the Detroit Lions. Like, the very idea that somehow you're the special case that just needs more time than anyone is so insulting. And it's so sad. For instance, Brian Daboll has more career wins than Dan Campbell. One problem. Brian Daboll's only coached in 6 games. Dan Campbell's coached in north of 20. The Giants are 5-1. They don't have a quarterback. They don't have wide receivers. They have no cap space because Dave Gettleman left them in worse shape than you. And yet, they're 5-1. Are they really good? No. But they try hard. The culture's changing. Players talking about how badly they want to be there. Okay? Guys like Julian Love, who were about to be released. Xavier Jimenez, who was about to be released. These are guys that are playing the best ball of their life. The Jets, a morbid franchise with a second-year coach who only won 4 games last year, are 4-2. And they just went to Lambeau and dropped a bomb on the Packers. Oh, by the way, their first-round pick looks like one of the 10 best corners in football. The Atlanta Falcons, a shipwreck. Marcus Mariota as their bridge. No Cordarrelle Patterson. Pitt's banged up. A rookie's their best wide receiver. And I know the Niners were beat up, but damn it, they beat them up. 28-14, Niners were never in the game. Seattle Seahawks, you want me to keep going? These are body blows. Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith. The Seattle Seahawks traded the face of the franchise. They traded arguably the greatest player to ever put on a Seahawk uni. Didn't miss a beat and are 3-3. Just popped Arizona. And I'm not telling you they're great, but I tell you they're a hell of a lot of fun to watch. Why am I bringing it up? I'm bringing it up for this reason. The next 3 weeks are all I got left for Dan Campbell. I can't do anymore because I'm seeing what rebuilds look like around this league. And I don't want to hear about next year or the year after or, well, it's a long-term build. Stop. Just stop, man. You're kidding yourself at this point. The next 3 weeks are all I've got. They go to Dallas, they're home against Miami, and home against the Packers. And I'll just be honest with you. If you come out of that 1-7, your coach is a bum, your GM's not nearly as good as any of us thought he is, and you may need to seriously consider some changes. Now, whether they will or won't is not my problem. I'm only here to tell you what I feel. Rico, watching football this Sunday, seeing all these other... How about
frustrating?
Yeah, I mean...
Because
the Pittsburgh
it's why not
Steelers
here.
have more wins than we do. They have Mitch Trubisky and now a rookie who got concussed, and we're back to Trubisky. They just went into Tampa.
Mm-hmm. No, it's why not here? Why can't you have it? Why can't they win? I don't know what the game plan is. This long-term rebuild, every other NFL team can do it on the fly. And, yeah, I remember you making fun of Geno Smith, but he's getting it done in Seattle. I'm not saying Seattle's going to win the Super Bowl, but you know what Seattle is? They're in first right now in their division, and it's a division that anybody can win. Does that sound familiar? The Lions are in a division that anybody can win. But for some reason, I don't know what the plan is, and maybe it is that they sold Sheila. We need about 3-4 years before we can get this thing done, and that's a lie because the NFL is showing you don't need that long.
Do you understand the Giants are on the field without Kenny Golladay, who's a $20 million player, without Kadarius Toney, who's a first-round pick, without Sterling Shepard, who's probably their best receiver? Yesterday, they took the field with David Sills, some guy. Ready? This is how deep on the practice squad they are. I don't even know who the guy is. Marcus Johnson? Who? And then Wan'Dale Robinson finally back, their second-round pick. It's like they beat the Ravens, Rico.
No, you gave the stat of the day in a text message, and this came from Mike. Brian Daboll has more career wins than Dan Campbell.
That's disgusting.
Brian has only coached in 6 games.
Right.
He has more career wins than Dan Campbell. Let that one sink in.
And again, guys, when I say the next 3 weeks, like, what do you think this is? I'm not allowed to expect the Lions to beat teams? Look around the league. Atlanta was a huge underdog. They won.
Oh, every underdog won yesterday.
Right, but that's the league.
Right.
That's the league. So my point is, Dallas, Miami, and the Packers, if you don't win a couple of these, what are we even doing? You're basically saying it's okay to have the worst defense in league history and not question your GM and coach who openly decided to stand pat? To openly question whether Brad Holmes is capable of recruiting big-time talent here?
You know, who openly decided to draft 2 players out of the top 3 that couldn't help you right away.
Uh-oh.
But everybody was cool with it. Well, just look at how much fun it's going to be. You don't get to have fun right now.
By the way, not trying to be rude, it's another day where I watch young players really helping their team. Kayvon Thibodeau, 4 pressures, out in pass cover, not doing a terrible job. Good in the run, and he makes the game-winning strip sack when the Giants need to protect a lead, minute 23, and the Ravens are going to be 4 downs, all out, and strip sack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Sauce Gardner is legit.
Pick 6, yeah.
Cheesehead, awesome. Yeah. But, like, my point is, with the Lions not playing, I'll give you one more example. I'm watching Bailey Zappi throw for 3 bills, go on the road, and beat the Browns after beating you, after nearly beating the Pack. Can you imagine if the Lions' third-string quarterback was playing right now? What it would look like? At a certain point, we have to talk about Dan Campbell, this inexperienced staff made up of players.
And don't forget, Bailey Zappi is your illegitimate kid.
I love Bailey.
Because, you came out here last year terrified of him at Western Kentucky.
And he was good.
He was.
That team was bad. But he
you know what? He's your Sauce Gardner.
He is. He is.
Well, I kept saying, hey, Sauce is good, guys. Yeah, I forgot what you used to call him.
Juice Box Johnson.
Yeah, Juice Box
Cookies
Johnson.
Anderson. I mean, we had all kinds of names. He's legit, Rico. He is. But I want to hear from Lion fans on this. Unless you are practicing like willful ignorance or cognitive dissonance, you can't watch this league, look at teams like the Giants, the Jets, Seattle, and Atlanta, just to name a few, and tell me everything is awesome. Tell me that, well, it's okay because we're different. No, you know how you're different? Let me tell you how you're different. You have more talent than the Giants. Oh, but what do the Jets have? A rookie in Garrett Wilson, a rookie in Breece Hall, essentially a rookie quarterback. They have no pass rush. They lost their best offensive lineman in Mekhi Becton to start the year. What do they have? They played 3 weeks of the season without their quarterback. What does Seattle have? They lost their franchise player, Jamal Adams, week 1.
Top passer, Geno Smith.
Right, so like...
if you watch, this week should have frustrated you if you were a Lions fan because you had to sit there and say, why not us? why can't we have what these other teams are having? Why can't we get these breaks? And why can't we win these games? And you look at the Steelers. I don't think anybody would have put money on the Steelers to beat the Bucks.
Getting 8.5, yes.
Right, but just to win the game and beat them? Like, what are we talking about?
And to do it when Pickett gets hurt.
Right.
To go back to Mitch MVP Trubisky?
But yet, think about this. Detroit Lions scored on average 35 points a game up until the last game and only won one of them.
Right. So, look, we gave you an hour on U of M. We're going to go right back to it later in the show. I think the national title's coming out of the Big Ten. You're free to call about it. I really wanted to see where you're at with the Lions because this weekend it's just massively frustrating, A, to watch what real football looks like, and then B, it's this realization that it doesn't take 3 years. And that in year 2 in New York or year 1 in New York, year 0 listen, it's year 0 for the Seahawks. They traded the face of their franchise. And by the way, defensively, lost a Hall of Fame player in Bobby Wagner. And what do? They go out in the 6th round and draft this Wooden character, the kid at corner, who's awesome.
Yeah,
they draft Kenneth Walker, who, by the way, awesome.
Well, yeah, he was a converted wide receiver, moved to corner.
Like Richard Sherman.
Yeah, just like Richard Sherman, taking almost a pick difference.
Right, and they've been starting rookie tackles. And I got to hear you cry about your defense. It's like, guys, real GMs find players. So maybe we need to take Brad Holmes down a notch.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell, I got news for you. For me, you could disagree. He's got 3 weeks. And what I mean by it is if you're 1-7, I'll know he's not real.
So do you finally believe in your Giants? Remember when you were like, who has the better path ahead of them, the Lions or the Giants? You finally believe in your Giants now?
It makes no sense, but I will tell you, A, yes, what Brian Daboll's doing is...
I like him. He's fun.
He is.
And the players like him.
But I got bad news for you.
What? And you'll get a quarterback.
No. Are you ready for this? They are at Jacksonville this week, and they're 3-point dogs. Very scary.